Hello, hello, dear community, and everyone who are curious how to decentralize everything. This is one of our workshop series of Swarm to teach you both technical and non-technical developers and curious minds how to decentralize everything what they're doing in the digital space. And today it's one of my favorite workshops, which is decentralizing your front end. We see so many amazing projects creating really intricate back end and then kind of shoving it everything, unfortunately, onto centralized storage units. And thankfully, Swarm built something that is very, very user friendly. And today we're going to go over both different ways how to create the decentralized front end. So we're going to touch the B port where we kind of gave the rails of not needing to run your own node and be able to host the front end in decentralized fashion still through just going on the website. And then we're also going to show the desktop app and what are so many different things that you can do in there, and you can run your own node. And it's perfect timing for this because I was able to decentralize several different projects that I've built, some with vibe coding, some longer projects that I was just waiting for a better way to store. So it's just in time for the hackathon season. And of course, we hope to see many of you as well in the next upcoming months and many different hackathons that we will be present at. And hopefully this will be useful for you to not only create a decentralized project in the back end, but also do that with your front end. And I could not think of a better person than to lead this workshop and showcase it than Aaron. So Aaron is working with the ecosystem, and he is always there to kind of explain very complex challenges in the easiest way possible to understand fashion. So I would love to bring Aaron without any further ado. Aaron, thank you so much for once again joining us. You already gave some of the workshops as well. We have one more coming up, which is decentralized streaming. So I really was not lying for teaching people how to decentralize all different parts of the internet. And I just wanted to ask before we jump in, are there any complications for a person that doesn't necessarily is original developer to follow this, or someone without deep technical knowledge could also follow these workshops specifically to decentralize the front end?
Hi, Miglan. Thank you for the introduction. So, this workshop will have three parts, and it starts with the beginner friendly, easy approaches to decentralization. And then at the end, it stops at a CLI application that might be a bit scary and not for everyone. But okay, so what we expect from users to be able to follow this and, for example, use Bport is that they have a wallet extension in their browser, and they have some EVM compatible tokens on an EVM compatible chain. And then Bport will handle multi-chain payments for them. So for entry level, it's enough to have funds so they can pay for storage on Swarm and then let the web application handle the rest.
Right. And I know that this question is very complicated because it's obviously based on the circumstances, but let's assume it's about the pricing. But let's say I want to host my website for 3 months. I'm testing it out. I'm seeing if it's going to work. How much more or less can I imagine to have in my wallet to be able today to fund the storage of my website for 3 months, more or less, if it's
Yeah,
a
I would,
small website?
yeah, I would assume the same that a website, let's say less than 10 megabytes. And I would say for 3 months, that's going to be around the price of $1.
Okay. Okay. So that's not a very large price to pay to go ahead and decentralize most of the websites that you guys are running already, right? So I'm very happy to hear that indeed, even the people that are not developers, they can follow this workshop. And then towards the end, indeed, we're going to showcase how to run your own node. And the desktop gets a bit more complicated, but I know just at the beginning, you can do it all. And then if you do have any questions or you run into any errors, please go to our Discord. We're popping in the QR code right now. And not even today, but today, of course, Aaron will stick around after the workshop to make sure to answer any of your questions, give some more resources. But also all of our developers and research team, they are constantly checking the Discord, and really what we're building for the community and for you guys. And Swarm Foundation really cares about your feedback, and we always look at the Discord, take it a feedback, try to get clarification, give you guys answers. So this is the number one spot for anyone working or trying to touch our tech to go and see us. We're absolutely active and very responsive there. So I think without any further ado, I'm also gonna try and follow the workshop once again. I'm excited for people to learn these things, and hopefully we will see decentralized front ends already at ETH Prague, but more about that after the workshop. So Aaron, take it over.
Thank you. All right. So, welcome to the third installment of the workshop series. So, this one is titled How to Decentralize Any Front End. And I don't want to over explain what this means. It's very straightforward. We are going to be hosting or deploying websites on Swarm. We will look at three different approaches. And for that, we will be using justdeploy.eth, the website that you see here, as the guide that tells us how to do with these three different approaches. And the first one is Bport. This is a web application. The second one is the desktop app. This provides Swarm Desktop is a desktop application with a user interface. And finally, we have Swarm CLI, which is a terminal tool. There will be some parts where I will need to show some pre-recordings. This is to keep the workshop smooth and avoid some waiting times. So let's start with Bport. Bport is the easiest to work with because it only requires your browser and a wallet. The trade-off here is that you are not running your own node. Instead, you are relying on a centralized service, but still the data that you upload through Bport will be decentralized. So this is not a big problem. So as I said, we will be following the steps here on justdeploy.eth. It can also be accessed as justdeploy.bzz.link and also .eth.limo and so on. So the first step is going to be Bport and connecting our wallet. So I'm opening Bport. This is the main interface. And on the top right, I'm clicking Connect Wallet using MetaMask. And here I have a wallet prepared for this workshop. Then I can select from the multiple chains plus multiple tokens and specify the capacity and the duration for the stem that I want to buy. I'm going with something small, it's 100 megabytes, and let's say for 2 days. And this is at the cost of a cent. So I'm clicking Buy Storage. And Bport handles multi-chain payments for us. Now we are purchasing from Gnosis, and Swarm is also on Gnosis. So this is a simple sushi swap. But Bport also supports, for example, buying storage on Swarm with Ethereum mainnet ETH. Now the transaction for the purchase is visible on chain, but there is still some waiting time here. Because of how blockchains work, it takes a while for all the nodes on the network to pick up that, yes, in fact, we have paid for storage and we are authorized to upload to the network. And this is around 10 blocks of a waiting time on the Gnosis chain. And since Gnosis block time is 5 seconds, we are roughly waiting 1+ minute here. We can use that time to read this message. Whatever we upload here cannot be deleted. It's also immutable. And the content that we upload here is public. So I want to say that it's very unlikely that if you don't share this hash anywhere, then people will find it. It's very, very unlikely. But you should be aware that what you upload through Bport is public data on the Swarm network. Just to check back on Just Deploy, we are doing the second step, buying storage. We have chosen our chain, our token, we have selected the storage size and duration, and clicked the buy storage and confirm the transaction in the wallet. So now we are moving to step 3. This should be roughly enough time for the storage to be created. To upload a website, we are clicking this checkbox. We want to upload multiple files in a folder and we want one resulting hash. So with that, we select the folder, and here I have prepared 3 websites. Normally, front-end frameworks can be statically built so that they produce a build folder. In the case of Vite, this is the dist folder. So we are expected to select that folder and then click upload. Then we can proceed clicking upload here again. And here we need to provide a signature so that the Bport backend can make sure that we are the authorized person for this upload. And that was a very fast upload. This whole website is small. And you might be very tempted to click this open link right here, right now. And we are going to do that to explain a few things. So if you do this first, you are arriving on this forbidden page. And this is normal. So let's go back to just deploy and see why this happens and what else we can do. So after we upload, it shows the upload successful. And if we open it through the button, it will open it through Swarm Gateway, the official gateway of Swarm. And that gateway blocks unreviewed websites by default. This is to prevent phishing. So what we can do here is submit this reference for approval, but there are other simple solutions to this as well. You may as well just use an alternative gateway. For example, there is the BZZ Limo gateway. So we are going to copy this link, copy the hash from here, and replace hash in this URL. And we can check on our website on Swarm. But the proper solution is to set up this site with an ENS name, since we don't really want to use Swarm hashes. They are not really convenient for sharing, remembering, and so on. So we are moving on to the last step, which is linking to our ENS domain. So we are coming back to Bport, going to the History tab, and here we see this ENS button. Then there is a drop-down of our domain names, and we can click the set content hash to link it. But wait, how did I get the ENS name in the first place? So for that, I will be showing the first video that I have prepared. And I want to mention that Bport has full ENS integration built in, so you can buy the domain and also link it to your content without leaving Bport. So the way I did that is I clicked the ENS button as I just did before, but instead of using the set content hash tab, I switched over to registered domain, and there I searched for the name. After that, ENS registration is a two-step process. First, there is a commit transaction, and after that, there is the actual registration transaction. And the reason for this is to avoid front-running attacks, which would mean that somebody sees on the blockchain that you are just about to buy an ENS name. So what they do is that they submit the same transaction with a higher gas price, and effectively they would be stealing the domain registration from you and get the domain in the end. So this two-transaction system with a 1 minute waiting time in between is designed to prevent these attacks. And after going through these two transactions, our ENS domain has been registered. So now we can come back here, select snakegame.eth, and then set the content hash. We will be prompted for a transaction. We are confirming it, and now waiting a bit, make sure that it goes through. We can also open MetaMask anytime to check on the transaction in the activity tab, but since I'm currently on Gnosis, you need to switch over to Ethereum. Okay. Meanwhile, in the background, I see that the registration was successful. So now if we open, for example, the ETH link, let's see if it works. It might be a bit too quick for the propagation, but let's check on it. Okay, we see that we have managed to decentralize this small web app and also set it up with DNS. Okay. That was the end of B port. Now for the second one, we are moving on to Swarm Desktop. And as I said, this is a graphical user interface for interacting with the Swarm network and also managing your node. Plus, it comes with an installer which sets up the B node for you, deploys the configuration, and so on. So with Swarm Desktop, you get the best of both worlds because you get the self-sovereignty by running your own node, but it also doesn't require deep technical knowledge. Again, we are going to be following the steps at just deploy. And we are going to look at these first 3 steps in a batch and with the help of a pre-recording. So first, we are going to download and install Swarm Desktop. Then we are going to fund our node. And finally, we are going to buy a storage there as well. So first, I'm going to desktop.eswarm.org, and there should be a button which downloads the correct Swarm Desktop for your operating system. Once you have that ready, you pretty much just need to run it. In my case, it mounts an archive. From the archive, I take the application to my applications folder. Then I go back to Finder to unmount the archive. And after that, I'm running Swarm Desktop. Swarm Desktop is initializing at this point. Here it will soon show what's happening under the hood. So first, it's downloading the B binary for us. After that, it will create a configuration. And once it's running, first it runs in ultralight mode, so it doesn't require any funding, but it's also only capable of downloads. So once that happens, we are prompted with this user interface. This will be the main dashboard for Swarm Desktop. And here I made a few-minute cut just to make sure that we are connecting to peers. And after that, I clicked the Setup Wallet button, and I'm going to directly fund the given address with XDAI using MetaMask. Here I'm searching for a wallet which actually holds any funds. And once I've found one, I'm going to fund it, I believe, with 0.5 XDAI. So I'm just pasting the address there, specifying the XDAI, waiting for the transaction to go through. Again, we can check on it in MetaMask in the Activity tab. It's already confirmed there, so we are waiting a bit in Swarm Desktop to have the balance appear. And after that, through this UI, Swarm Desktop will swap this XDAI to XBZZ for us. We can specify how much of that XDAI we want to swap. After that, click the primary button at the bottom, and then the procedure of setting up the wallet, upgrading the B node from an ultralight node to a light node. which is also capable of uploading, starts. So we get back to the main screen, and here is a so-called postage batch syncing. So if we scroll down a bit, we see this piece which says chain state, and we need to wait for this number to catch up to the actual block number on the Gnosis chain. So I sped up the recording there a bit. It took around 5 minutes for that to happen. Then in the next session, if you close this dashboard, you can just go to the system tray, click the icon, and open Web UI. In this next session, I'm going to stamps to create storage. This is a similar interface to Bport, except for uh, the chain and token selection, but here we are specifying the capacity and the duration as well. And I sped it up to avoid the roughly 2-minute waiting time for the postage batch to appear and finalize on chain. And here we can see that we have this new postage batch, which we can use for uploads. Okay, so I'm gonna pick it up where the video left off. I'm running Swarm Desktop myself now. It takes a few seconds to initialize, but it's going to load the same B node, same wallet as you have seen on the video. Okay, it opened up, and now our B is connecting to other peers in the network. So we are going to wait a few seconds just for this connected peers counter to catch up. Normally, we want to see roughly 100 or 150 connections for a B node. I also want to show that now we are running in light mode. So light mode for a B node means that it is capable of both uploading and downloading, meaning it has a wallet, it can create postage batches, and so on. Plus, we are running the latest version of B at this point in time. Okay, we can also check that here is the stamp that was shown on the video. We could come back here to create additional stamps or extend the duration of this one or extend the capacity of this one in case we are just about to run out of time or run out of capacity. Okay, so now we are going back to justdeploy.eth. We have done these first 3 steps. And what we are doing next is creating a feed. And we are creating a feed because it gives our site a permanent URL, which will always point to the latest version of the given resource, in this case, a website. So we are going to account, feeds, create new feed. So here we are already in the account tab. We are switching to feeds and create new feed. And we will need to provide a name here. I will provide red, green, blue, and simply create the feed. Now we can move on to uploading our site. So we are coming back here to files, clicking add website, and here in this folder, we are selecting the red, green, blue site. And just as before, we are uploading the dist folder, which is the built version of our website, the static version that is good for publishing and deploying. Here we need to select a postage stamp. Since we only have that one, I'm not changing it. And this is where we get a preview. So we need to, again, click upload to your node and wait for this button bar to make sure that we are 100% synced. And once that's done, we already have a swarm hash for this, which directly points to the content, but we want to update the feed to point to this content. So for that, I'm selecting the feed that we have just created. Stamp can be the same, clicking update selected feed. And here we receive the feed hash. Just to confirm that we did everything right, we are going back to bzz limo slash bzz slash hash, and then check if our website is already visible on the network. Yes, it is. This is a simple RGB picker where you can copy the RGB and hex codes. Okay. Coming back to just deploy, we want to link this again to an ENS domain. And Bport had built-in ENS integration, but Swarm Desktop doesn't have that. So instead, we are going to app.ens.domains, the official site for handling the ENS names that you have. So here, I already have these three names. And just to show how I got here in the first place, let's go back and check the final recording for this, which was creating or purchasing, registering the domain on ENS. The flow was pretty much the same. First, I connected my wallet. For registering an ENS name, you need roughly 7 USD in ETH. After connecting the wallet, you can search for the name that you want to register. In this case, this was the HexKit domain. Here on the next screen, you can select the duration for the registration, then scroll down to the bottom and select if you want to pay using Ethereum or a credit card. And the same two-transaction process starts here. So first, we are doing the commit transaction. We are waiting for this transaction to go through and appear on chain. Once that's done, here is the infamous 1-minute timer, which is one of the reasons why I made these recordings. And after that, we are moving on to the second transaction, the actual registration part of our ENS name. Transaction looks good. We are confirming it. Again, waiting for this to go through. I sped this up as well a bit. And once that's done, we get this nice effect that we now own this name. Okay. So we are coming back here. We already have the name. What we want to do is take our feed hash. I just copied it. So take our feed hash, open the relevant name, select the records tab, click edit records, and here in the other tab, we want to specify a new content hash. And the protocol is going to be BZZ. After that, you can specify the feed hash. Click save, open wallet, and you will be prompted for a transaction to update where this ENS name points to. So we are confirming that and now waiting for this transaction real time. We can also open up MetaMask, switch back to Ethereum, and see that our transaction is here, just got confirmed, and also ENS Frontend picked it up. Cool. So this means that now we can take our name, append limo or link after it, and check if it loads. And again, that was a very quick propagation, both for the website upload and also for the ENS registration and the content hash update. So we have finished step 6. We have successfully uploaded the website through Swarm Desktop, and also by manually using the official ENS frontend, we updated our name to point to this website. Lastly, this step mentions that if we change something about our website and re-upload, then it will be automatically picked up because we are using a feed. Okay, that was the end of the Swarm desktop part. I need to remember to stop running Swarm desktop and stop the B node as well, because for the final part, for the Swarm CLI part, we are going to do this all from scratch. Okay, so what do you need to know about Swarm CLI? As a developer, this one is my favorite because of the low level control that it gives. We are going to be using a terminal the whole time, well, except for the ENS part. And you can also use Swarm CLI, for example, in CI/CD pipelines. To get started, you can install Swarm CLI using npm install global or pnpm install global. I already have it installed, so I'm going to skip this step and start instead with the quick start command. Okay. I'm creating a new folder for this and maybe zooming in a bit, that wouldn't hurt. Okay. And I'm going to this workshop folder, and here I'm running the Swarm CLI quick start command, and let's see what it does for us. So first, it downloads the B binary for us, again, depending on our operating system. Then if we are on Linux or Mac OS, it runs the chmod command to make B executable. And then it gets back to us with the question, what kind of node do we want to create here? Do we want an ultralight node, which is only capable of downloading, but no funding is required on the plus side? Or do we want to go with a light node? With that, we get full functionality, so we can upload and download, but it will require XDAI to start, and then XBZZ for uploading and retrieving data. Of course, we want a light node because we want to upload a website. Once we select that, it creates the configuration file for us, this B YAML file. We can see it here. We have the binary and the configuration. And simply we can take this command and run it. And now B is starting up, but very soon it will hit a wall. So it tells us that it doesn't have a checkbook. It wants to deploy a new one. However, it cannot continue with that until there is enough XDAI for the transaction costs on the node wallet. And then it prints the node wallet for us. So the first thing that we need to do is to send funds to this address. I'm opening up MetaMask for this, going back to my tokens, switching back to Gnosis network, clicking XDAI, and here I'm sending to my B node's address, let's say 0.1 XDAI, since Gnosis transaction costs are insanely cheap. We are confirming this. Moving over to the activity tab, here we see that this transaction is pending. Now it's confirmed, so we can go back here, and we can already see here that it's deploying a new checkbook. And after that, it started printing many other messages. So now I'm going to split my terminal. And here in this second tab, I'm running the Swarm CLI status command. And what we need to observe here is that, as we have already seen with Swarm Desktop, there was a chain sync there as well. We also have a chain sync here. We need to wait for the current block to catch up to the current 46 million block height on Gnosis. Once it's within the range of, okay, around 600,000, then it will start functioning normally and start connecting to peers. So again, we would like to wait here a bit just to make sure that we have sufficient connections, we are fully caught up with the blockchain. And while we do that, I'm going to show a cool feature about Swarm CLI. If you run any command and you add the curl flag after it, then Swarm CLI will print all the corresponding curl commands that it used on the way. And you can use this to learn about the endpoints. You can use this to code them manually yourself with curl, maybe if you are debugging something, or you can look them up in the B API docs to see if they contain any further useful information that might be relevant for you. Let's run this Swarm CLI status command again. And now we see that we are in the healthy range of more than 100 connections. And also we are synced with the blockchain. So the next step here, after the quick start and funding, which I skipped on Just Deploy, is buying storage. Before we can buy storage, of course, we are going to need BZZ. So I'm going to fund this node with BZZ as well. And for that, I'm running the Swarm CLI addresses command to get the node wallet address that I was using before. So if you lose it for whatever reason, you can always just run Swarm CLI addresses and then use the Ethereum address, which is printed here. So now we are going back to MetaMask, check our tokens here. We don't have BZZ here, so means we are switching to a different one. Let's say this one. I'm clicking the BZZ token, clicking send, pasting the address, and let's fund it with 10 BZZ. Okay, let's see how long it takes. So again, Gnosis has 5-second block time, so transactions are very fast. And here with the Swarm CLI status command, now I'm checking if it prints the correct balance, and in fact it does. Here is the 10 BZZ that we have just transferred to the node wallet address. Now to create the actual storage, to buy the postage batch. In Swarm Lingo, we are running this stamp create command. And there is also the stamp buy command, which is a bit low level. So I recommend using stamp create instead, because it prompts you for human-friendly values for both the capacity and the duration. For the capacity, I don't want much. I want this 10 megabytes. For the duration, I just want 1 week. And then it tells me that it costs 0.3 BZZ. I have more than enough on the node wallet for that. So let's confirm this purchase. And then we need to wait for that. It won't take 5 minutes, but roughly 2 minutes. So what happens under the hood and how B nodes work is that all of them are connected to the blockchain through a so-called JSON RPC. Gnosis nodes have this JSON RPC layer, so you can query them for data or to execute transactions. And each of the B nodes in the Swarm network are constantly polling the blockchain through this so-called JSON RPC for blockchain events. And of course, not all blockchain events, but for Swarm-related blockchain events. Under the hood, this is called a eth get logs function where you can specify which smart contract, which event you are interested in. So now all the B nodes in the network are polling the postage batch contract to see if anybody has created a postage batch on the network. And if they detect any such transaction or event, then they are putting that postage batch in their own databases. So all B nodes hold a database for all the currently active postage batches on the Swarm network. And the reason they need that is that when they receive a chunk to be stored, they need to cross reference it to see if there is a valid postage batch for that chunk. So whether it is authorized, whether it has been paid for to be stored. Okay, so I managed to talk for 2 minutes straight. We have our postage batch, and now we can continue with the website upload. So for that, let's come back here to just deploy. Here are some helpful commands. So with the stamp top-up command, you can extend the duration. With the stamp dilute, you can extend the capacity. And with the stamp list, you can query your postage batches. Now, first, we want to do the same step as we did with Swarm Desktop. So first, we are creating a feed pointer that we will be able to use. And for that, we need to run this identity create command. So we do that, and it prints a private key, which I shouldn't be sharing with you, but that's fine. Now, after that, let's navigate to our website. That will be code swarm sample websites. Yes, okay. And simply run this command. So I'm going to the HexKit folder. Here I have the dist folder. So now I'm copying this command, pasting it here. And then first it will prompt me for the postage batch that I want to use. So I'm selecting the only one that I have, the one that we just bought. And after that, I'm prompted for the identity that I want to use for the section. So this is the part which makes it essentially a feed and gives us a permanent address that we can set up with ENS. So now it's doing the upload, plus it's doing the feed write, and we get back the address to the actual data, and we get back the pointer, which will always show the latest version of the website for this identity. Again, we can check this on our browser to see if it's managed to propagate. So looks all good. So what we are doing now is taking not this hash, but the manifest hash, this one, and going back to ENS. Here I'm going back to my names, selecting HexKit. Here, records tab, edit records, other PCC protocol, and then the swarm hash. I'm clicking save, opening my wallet, just making sure that everything seems okay with the transaction. It seems so, so I clicked confirm, and this is our final transaction for the day. We are waiting for this to go through, which we hope will be a quick one. And after that, we will check on hexkit.eth, .limo, or .link. So these are Web 2, Web 3 bridges. Okay, so it seems that this part is done as well. So let's copy this name, append limo or link, and then try to look it up. Okay, cool. So after a very short waiting time, we are presented with this front end. This is simply a small tool to turn UTF-8 tags to hex, also to display the Kachak hash of that, or to do it vice versa, or to generate random hexes, something that I occasionally need to do. Okay, so that marks the end of the Swarm CLI section. We have um, followed these steps here without actually following them. And there is a last command here, which is about, again, we can rerun this feed upload command to upload a new version of the website and to check how many versions there are and which one the latest is. We can run this feed print command where we specify the identity, and there it will tell us that there is one update. And if we further specify the list flag, then it will also fetch each of these updates to return the underlying data under each of the versions. So this is some built-in version control in Swarm. Okay, so just to recap what we did, if you want to decentralize your front end, if you want to deploy or publish websites on Swarm, just go to justdeploy.eth. So justdeploy.bzz.link or .ethlimo or .ethlink, and then follow the steps here. So pick the approach that you liked the best, the one that suits you the best, and then just follow the steps. They are very straightforward. I would like to mention the Freedom browser. You can check it out at freedom.baby. This is a new Web3 native web browser, and it supports the .eth, so it supports the ENS names out of the box. You don't need to rely on these Web2, Web3 bridges like the ethlimo, ethlink, or bzz link. I hope this was useful for you. And if you are on Swarm, feel free to tell us about it on Discord. And thank you for your attention. Migra, I believe you are muted.
Ah, all right. I was
No,
just
it's
thinking
okay.
of and saying thank you so much for showing the different possibilities from really, I did get lost a little bit towards the end, indeed. But what is super nice is that we have this UX that is so intuitive, especially for, if you're doing it on the website yourself. And I have some questions myself, but first I thought we would go to some of the audience questions as well. A very fair one, because I've only tried myself with a static, but someone is wondering if this works for both dynamic websites or is it only for the static websites?
This is mainly for static websites. So that means that if you have, for example, server-side rendering, then you might need to use a different build plugin such that it renders a fully static website. If you want to build something dynamic or even a full stack application, then instead of having a traditional backend, put that layer in the smart contracts. So put all the business logic, backend logic in the smart contracts and keep your front end static.
All right. So in terms of then, so what you're saying that there is a possibility, but it's kind of a workaround to then include certain parts into the smart contract. So it still remains dynamic, but then, or am I wrong here?
I'm talking about the shift in the paradigm with
Mm,
Web3 so that there are no centralized backends anymore. But if
yes.
you want something which is like a backend logic, then put that in a smart contract. But if we are speaking front ends only, and the front end has a dynamic part, that usually happens when uh, there is, for example, server-side rendering, then if the framework lets you, if your architecture lets you, you can switch that to static build pipeline, and then you can take the output and put that on Swarm.
Okay. And then I guess if you are curious to further ask how exactly to do this, I'm sure we're going to be able to help you out. if you go to our Discord, and we can further discuss this as well. And then, Aaron, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges that people might run into, both by doing it on the desktop app and then doing it on a website? And what are some of the easier workarounds? Maybe the answer is just to go to the Discord and ask the question, but what are some of the things that people might run into in terms of the challenges and how to find a way out of them?
There are always occasional flakiness in the system. So maybe your MetaMask is trying to do smart transactions, which is not always very smart, and then it will fail. Maybe there will be a problem on the ENS side with the transaction. Maybe it takes longer for the hashes to propagate or for the ENS name update to propagate. So occasionally there is a need for retries, second attempts, or more waiting times. Uh, but I would argue that these steps are quite straightforward and there shouldn't be any serious problems.
Okay, that's super nice to hear as well. And indeed, I think with what you said, and that's something that I will be discussing in Prague as well, which is so many backends are so decentralized and so many engineers are putting so much effort into making sure that it does happen. And we have this massive culture in Web3, some of us are in it for the ethical reasons and ideological reasons, and then everything is decentralized, but then 99% of the websites are still hosted on the cloud, and it's such a massive pity. And I will be giving a talk about decentralization theater, where actually I will be dissecting what happened on a day when some of the Amazon servers went down and what are some of the alternatives. And indeed, one of the alternatives that I see is using and trying out alternatives like Swarm has to offer as well. Aaron, what are some of the websites that you personally would love to see to be decentralized in terms of the front end? Maybe you think it's just necessity because of the ideological reasons, or maybe you think because of the safety reasons. What are some of the websites that you would love to see to have decentralized front end?
Well, first thing that came to my mind is have ENS on Swarm as well, since as you have seen, I was heavily using it today.
All right. I also agree that's a very practical solution. And now, for the rest of the guys as well, me and Aaron will also be at the hackathon at ETH Prague. And Swarm also has some of the bounties too. So we would love to see projects coming out. And especially if you're working on something more technical, then still decentralize your front end. So we will be around the whole week in Prague. I think we're already flying out tomorrow and the day after. And we will also have our booth, we will have our office hours, and we really urge people that are just curious and want to build on Swarm, whether it's a large end projects or maybe just indeed putting a certain component and making it truly decentralized through Swarm. We would be more than happy to answer your questions and concerns. We're going to have a really wide range of the team coming. Our founder, Victor, will be there, and he's going to be there for very, very technical, deep techie talks. And then we're going to have people like Aaron, who you can ask on a very developers level. And we're also going to have our communications people. So really a wide range of people that you're going to be able to meet and chat about anything on Swarm as well. So I really, really hope to see many of you coming to Prague. And then if not, we do hope that you attend our next workshop, which will be the final workshop of this series. And it will be decentralized streaming. So it is something rather unique and new, and we haven't seen anyone else having to figure out the solutions. However, at the moment, we have been testing and trying to penetrate, and we will showcase to you where we are right now and what you can do with decentralized streaming. So whether you are an individual streamer on Twitch and that's your career, this workshop is for you. Whether you are just thinking of doing your streams instead of the Twitter, moving to there. And we were just joking before starting the stream. We're saying, okay, we actually have to step it up ourselves and ask our team members to make sure that our next workshops are also being streamed in decentralized fashion, right? So we will have Levante on, and I believe it's just the Tuesday after ETH Prague, which will be 12th of May. and it will be the exactly same time, and we're going to go from 0 to 100 to showcase everything about decentralized streaming. So I really urge people to come and join, and I would love to see decentralized YouTube in a year from now, and having more content, not being obliged to certain rules by the corporations. That would be, I would say, a dream. But let's say until then, we have a lot of work to do. And thank you so much, Aaron, for taking your time and teaching us so many different things. And I think I say for the both of us, we really hope to see many of your faces and interact with you and answer any of your technical, moral, ethical questions about Swarm and the state of it and where we're heading next as well. There's a lot of interesting things going on. So, Aaron, unless you want to add anything else?
That's it from me. Thank you
All
very much
good.
for your
All
attention.
right. Thank you so much for the audience, and we will see you in Prague this week, if not next week, in our final workshop. Thank you so much for coming. This was Migle with Swarm Foundation, and we'll see you very soon.